Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Geek Connection. We're thrilled to have you with us. And here at Geek Connection, we have one goal, and that is to equip you with the knowledge and skills to connect to the person that's right for you. This is Geek Connection. Growing up, I had the pleasure of seeing most of the things that we know that makes up nerd culture today. So I saw the console revolutions, LAN parties, awesome, anime, comic conventions, the rise of esports, you name it. I was always on the leading edge of whatever it was in the geek culture. And while this was nice for me and those like me, there was one thing that we found it really hard, and that was we didn't have any clue about how to find a girlfriend. And so that left me in a bit of a bind. I was frustrated with how little information I had about dating, and everything that was out there just didn't seem to apply to me. It was always be in the gym and wear popular clothes and listen to popular music, and it kind of didn't seem to apply to me. So that's why I created Geek Connection, is ultimately I wanted to be the person that I wish I had had growing up. Okay, now while human beings are very similar, and it's these similarities that Geek Connection is going to capitalize on and utilize on, there's one thing that has to be said, and that is nothing is 100% certain. Human beings are really complex creatures, and they're affected by a multitude of factors that can shape how they see things and what they like in a partner, and so nothing is 100% certain. The point of Geek Connection is to help increase your chances to find a great partner, and I try to give techniques that'll work for the maximum number of people, and if you have to tailor these to your exact situation or tweak them, that's fine. It's like the disclaimer on clothes say, it's a one size fits most. The second big disclaimer is tied to the first one, and it's what I call the I know a guy rule. I know that no matter what I say, someone is going to say, oh yeah, well, I know a guy that doesn't do that, and he's dating a supermodel. And my response to that is, awesome. Does she have a sister that's willing to date you? Because the fact is, we all know a guy who we feel we're better than in every way. We're smarter, we're funnier, we have a better job. And it's important to realize that the one thing in common with all these guys that we so-called know is that we all think that that guy got lucky. And that's what we're trying to fix. I don't want you to be lucky. I want you to be better. And I want you to have more confidence that you're heading in the right direction and not going through life just waiting to be lucky. Now, I don't know about you and where you are in your dating journey, but if you're like me, at the age of 19, you had little to no idea about the opposite sex except for the fact that people were dating them and you weren't one of those people. Or maybe for some of you, you've had minimum experience or minimum exposure, and for one thing or another, it didn't work out, or that things seem to work once and they don't anymore. No matter where you're at, Geek Connection wants to help you be better. Here's an example I'd like you to do, and it'll give you a frame of reference to see where you are in finding a partner. The only thing it requires is that you be honest with yourself. I must stress that if you want to get the best results, you have to be honest with yourself, because lying doesn't help you or anyone else. In fact, it ends up making you frustrated, angry, and more powerless after the fact. So here we go. I want you to think of an amazing example of someone that you'd like to date. Okay, if you're a man, that might be a gorgeous gamer girl, or if you're a girl, that might be a boy that you've seen on an anime or a rom-com. It doesn't matter. Just think of that person. Okay. Now, for the sake of simplicity, and because I'm a man and I know the most about men, I'll use a woman. Okay, so imagine for a moment that we're at a gaming convention. Okay, and an amazing hot gamer girl goes up on stage and says that she wants to find a boyfriend. Now, because of her amazing qualities, she's probably very desirable to most, if not all, the single guys in the crowd. And you might think that you're perfect for her because you satisfy most of the qualities that you think she's into, namely gaming, maybe TV shows or anime. The only problem is this, is that you're at a gaming convention. So it's safe to say that every other single person next to you also satisfies those same interests. And I bet every single one of those is saying the exact same thing you are, and that is, I'm perfect for her. This kind of thing happens especially to men in hobbies where the guy-to-girl ratio is skewed in the female's favor. What this allows is that the girl can now be much more picky with who she selects for a boyfriend. So let's say that the girl wants someone who likes video games. You like video games. Like we said before, every other person likes video games. So now everyone in the crowd satisfies that need. So now the girl gets to be a little bit more pickier. Now let's say that she wants someone who has video games and a job. Well, that's great if you have a job. If you don't have a job, you're now out of the running. But again, the idea that someone has a job and likes video games is probably pretty high, which means she might now say, well, I want someone who's in shape. If you're not in shape, even though you have a job and you like video games, you're now out of the running. The point of the exercise is this, is that oftentimes we get tunnel visioned into thinking, am I dateable to this girl? And that's the wrong way to go about it. What you have to go about it is you have to realize that it's you versus every other available person, which means that, and this is true for both of the sexes, is that the more desirable you are, the higher the chances are of you finding a person that's right for you. Now, this exercise was done in a vacuum with relatively perfect information, and dating is of course much less straightforward and much less easy, but the point is the same, is that to give yourself the best chance at finding a great relationship, you have to build up your attributes to set you apart from everyone else. Here's one last quick exercise. I want you to think of the perfect person, the person who's perfect for you. I want you to think of their hobbies. I want you to think of their interests. I want you to think of their looks, okay? And then ask yourself this, are you the kind of person that perfect person would want to date? If your answer is yes, that's awesome. Close the video, go find that perfect person, and I hope you live happily ever after. Of course, if you're like a normal human being and you're honest with yourself, you might say, maybe I need some improvement. And if that's you, I want you to know that's okay. In fact, that's exactly what Geek Connection is all about. It's about making you the person that your perfect person wants to be with. That's our show, and I hope this helped give you a different mindset than you had before, and I really hope to see you on the next episode of Geek Connection.